All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video giving my thoughts on the Independent's reports that The Walking Dead may be ending at the end of Season 12. Alright guys, so unfortunately we have to do this video. I'll put the link in the description to independent.co.uk where they have this this report. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I hope it's not true, but you know, when you think about it, and we'll go over it all and we'll give our thoughts, it kind of sounds like that might be the case. So here's what it is. This is, it's this video, guys. Eventually, this was going to happen. We're hearing this kind of thing now. It's not great. They had said before that The Walking Dead would likely go on past the end of the comics and would go on and on and on and on. AMC talking about 15 to 20 years of Walking Dead or something like this, but does that mean the original Walking Dead series, or does that mean, other Walking Dead stuff? So here's what we got, guys. So this is what it says. Walking Dead is coming to an end. Report claims The Walking Dead will reportedly end in a few seasons' time due to the source material drawing to a surprise close earlier this year. The zombie drama, which airs in the U.S. on Network AMC, is midway through its 10th season, but according to sources close to the show, so according to, I'd say, inside sources, it will end with its 12th season in March 2022. So that means that we would get, so we're in the middle of season 10 now, so we'll get the back half of season 10, we'll get season 11, we'll get season 12, and then according to this inside report, Season 12 will be the end of the Walking Dead original series, guys. So if this is correct, I really hope it's not. Then it says here, from We Got This Covered, claims the franchise overseer, Scott Gimple, will focus on spin-off series Fear the Walking Dead, which is on its 6th season. A second spin-off focused on a group of teenagers caught in the zombie apocalypse will begin next year. Last year, a trilogy of films centered on Andrew Lincoln's character Rick Grimes was announced. Lincoln left the show midway through The Walking Dead's 9th season. The news was followed by the announcement that Denai Guerrera, who played Michonne, will be leaving next year, meaning like 2020, so the back half of this season, season 10. And then it says here, quote, the current thinking at AMC. So this is, again, if this is true, this is from people who, inside sources from AMC and maybe the creative and the management and things like this, right? The current thinking at AMC is to do 2 more seasons of The Walking Dead before bringing things to a close and focusing on the spin-offs, the report reads. While the show that started it all may be winding down, there's still a lot of gas left in the tank for the property overall. Speaking about his decision to pull the plug on the comic book ending, Robert Kirkman said, quote, I got to tell my story exactly how I wanted and ended on my own terms with no interference at all along the way at any point. And then it goes into kind of The Walking Dead, which started in 2010, and then it kind of, yeah, and then it wraps up. Okay, so that's basically what it says. So the Kirkman stuff we knew before. He didn't tell anybody. He kept it under wraps. There was only a few people who really knew Charlie Adler and him. I think he had told Gimple at some point. And so Gimple synced up an episode title from Fear the Walking Dead with the end. I think it was called The End of Everything. The same week that the Walking Dead comics were released as final, that's when you had the end of everything. Kind of a synchronicity, possibly even maybe unintentional. I don't know. So comments, guys. I want to see all your comments. What are your thoughts on all of this information here? Do you think it's credible? Do you think it's legitimate? So here's the thing. There was a lot of statements kind of made beforehand, so we should go into the additional stuff here. But the key point of this is, I think, the current thinking at AMC is what it says. So the current thinking at AMC, based on how things are going right now, is to do this. Now, in the meetings when they had said that they were going to keep it going for 15 or 20 years or something like this, I think those were like shareholder AMC type of statements. So, to understand that in terms of game theory here, you want to create confidence in your shareholders for them to continue being shareholders. You want to create confidence that they're going to buy your stock, or they're going to get in there and they're going to stay with their position. You don't want everybody selling and dropping the stock down, the price going way down, everybody like abandon ship, get out, sell it all, and then the company starts to kind of nosedive. So they have to exude confidence. They have to convince people to stay invested and to do their thing. So the statements that were made before were in that type of situation, okay? So to try to send home the confidence to keep your people, your shareholders, shareholding, okay, and not just sell their positions and say, screw it, it's a sinking ship, I'm out, it's not going to make any money, I'm done. Okay, so that's when those statements were made. So this stuff is like an inside kind of report as to what the current status is or what the current state is at AMC and the inside thinking. Is it true, is it not true? I don't know. So here's why I think it actually sounds like it's probably true. Unfortunately, and I hate to say it because, the time's passing pretty fast here. We're halfway through season 10. That really only gives us 11 and 12, 2.5 years, and then the back half of this season. And then you'd basically be ending the original Walking Dead series, which, 12 seasons is plenty. Is it a good time to end it there, to give a good ending maybe for Daryl and Carol and Judith and whoever's still around at that time? It probably is. It probably is a good time to end it if you're going to end it at that point. Because I believe Norman Reedus and Melissa McBride, Daryl and Carol, I think they only signed on for a few more years. So it's very possible their contracts could be ending at the end of season 12. So if their contracts are ending at the end of season 12, it may make perfect sense to wrap the series up with them and Judith and the others and give it some kind of good ending there. Now, we do know Maggie's coming back at some point here. How will that affect things? I don't know. But the other thing is that their payroll is up higher. They had to pay, I think, Daryl and Carol, Melissa McBride, and Norman Reedus quite a bit to stay. They had to sign some pretty lucrative deals for them. And congratulations for them. That's great that they got it. But I do know the ratings are a lot lower this year. They're like 3 million and the 4 million range for U.S. viewers, so it's way down. We're talking the average viewership from seasons 1 to, I think, the end of 8 for the numbers I ran, or 9, was around 11 million on average U.S. viewers. So if you're getting 3 million U.S. viewers and you used to get 11, there's a lot less there in terms of traffic and in terms of people, coming to your network, watching the show, watching the commercials, doing all that. Now, with Premiere, you're going to get some of that too, but maybe kind of the overall sense here is because the comics ended in a surprise kind of fashion, that the TV series, a lot of us thought the TV series would go on past that, past the end of the comics, and would go on further. But if this report is true, then maybe that's not really the case, and once they kind of run out of that original source material, and you're running the risk of having to kill off Daryl, having to kill off Carol if you want to keep it going, or fade them in the background, or do something like this, one of these creative tactics, helicopters or whatnot. Maybe at that point you just decide, okay, both of them are finished, so let's wrap it up and do something like that. Now, it doesn't mean that they couldn't relaunch it as like The Walking Dead 2 and do some kind of futuristic story with like a grown-up Judith or something in similar fashion to how the comics sort of ended for Carl. And Scott Gimple did say to Robert, he said that it reads like a pilot, like it's a new series once you go into that kind of future. So, and then of course in the comic version they didn't do anything with that. They just ended it with an adult Carl, and they had a kind of a mini storyline there. And with the farmhouse, it wrapped up. Okay, so other stuff that we have around this topic. JDM, before the season started, who plays Negan, had said that he thought that the series would have a few seasons left, a few years left. So it sounds like pretty much everybody is kind of thinking, at least, does he have some inside information on that? Maybe he does, or maybe he's just sensing kind of from all the information that we have and kind of the flow of things that maybe a couple years left is about right. So the end of season 12 or 13, maybe 13 at the most or something like that is what we can expect. And then after that, you're pretty much kind of, you're at that point where you're losing Daryl and Carol because they can't do it forever. And so it's time to kind of wrap things up and give it a nice ending and do that whole thing. So do the ratings have an effect? The end of the comics, of course, coming out kind of shockingly. End of contracts probably rolling up. That does sound about right that maybe that's what you do. Now, okay, so I will also say, though, that I think, I mean, everything runs its course eventually, right? At that point, it'll be like 2 years from now, or 2.5 years, 2.5 seasons from now. So that'll give us almost another 3 years of Walking Dead to watch. At that point, pretty much run its course at that time, and it makes sense, right? I think it does make sense. So that's probably what we should expect. If there is a season 13 after that, then great, we get another year out of it, and that'd be cool. But somewhere around like the end of 12, 13, maybe 14 is probably what they're shooting for, and then we'll see when it gets closer to that time if that's what they're going to do. So the other thing is that rebranding, I think, does make sense. So if you launch a new Walking Dead series after that, and you do like a future Judith, like Walking Dead Future or something, and you do a future series way in the future with a grown-up Judith way far ahead, that could be successful too. And it would sound better, because I noticed this year when we started talking about season 10, everybody kind of looked at 10, and there was just this double-digit thing where it's like, oh, it's old. I mean, like all of a sudden, once the season number hit 10, it was like, oh, damn, that's old. Like there's something in your mind that just knows about these series that last past like 10 years, and it just sounds so old. So to rebrand it after season 12, if they were to launch a futuristic series, maybe you do it without Carol, without Daryl, you relaunch something new further down the road. That could be a good idea for them. That could be something they might want to do, and it could get some hype around it and stuff, because as you get into your 12 and 13 years and stuff like that, it does sound old. I have to admit, it really, really does. So that's the additional stuff to add in here, but how do we feel about this part is that Scott Gimple, according to the report, is going to be focusing on the movies. Well, of course he will. And I'll also say for the movies, I know he said trilogy, but I'm already thinking, let's just get one done at least, and let's not worry about a trilogy. I don't know if everybody's going to be into it in a trilogy in like 4 years or 5 years from now. With the amount of time one Walking Dead movie is taking, I am not holding my breath for 3. I would be happy if they even get one done, maybe 2, but 3, it's like, it sounds good in theory, but is everyone going to want to do that? Is Andrew Lincoln really going to want to do that? Because it doesn't seem to me like ever since he left, he really has any interest in talking about doing interviews for or having anything to do with Walking Dead right now at all. Just feels like he just wants out of the game almost entirely. You know what I mean? If you look at what's happened, inaction still means something. If you don't do anything, it still means something. It means that you don't want really to have much to do with it. And that's kind of what it seems like right now from what we've seen from Andrew Lincoln since he left, basically. So let's get one movie done and not worry about the trilogy so much right now. But I do hope we'll see a trilogy. However, I'm not holding my breath for it. And at that point, the Walking Dead series would probably be over anyway if it's going to end at the end of season 12, if this is true anyway. So, all right. So the last part that we should probably give our thoughts on is the possibility of Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead Universe both being on after the original series has ended. Now, that would put us a couple years into the future here, 2.5 years. So you'd have season 6, season 7, and Fear would have like season 8. It'd be around that time. They'd be like season 8. So a few years from now, and Walking Dead Universe would be in like its 4th season or something like that, 3rd or 4th season at that point if that is to happen. So I will be absolutely shocked, but maybe I shouldn't be, if Fear is to get like a 8th or 9th season after The Walking Dead has already ended, and it continues on further. I can just hear right now, you guys, your heads are you're probably turning red, and your heads are probably exploding right now. The idea of Fear the Walking Dead being on and the original series being over. But the truth is the original series is getting old. Everybody involved with it is getting older too, the actors and everything. And Fear does have some younger talent that could be really good, for at least a few more years, I think, if they can keep them. But that's the problem with Fear. We don't know if Lenny James is going to be in it for a few more years. Is Morgan? It'd be great if he was. But for me, the key, I think, because just from the feedback I get from you guys from videos, is they have to keep Alicia in Fear. They have to. If they screw that up, or she goes to movies 100%, like some of the others have for Walking Dead, or she leaves, Fear is toast. I'm telling you guys right now, because I make the videos, and, people are more interested in just whatever she happens to be wearing or doing than they are in anything else in the show. I'm just telling you. So if they're going to do that, if they want Fear to continue on longer, get an extension or do something, or I don't know how long a contract could be for. Maybe 7 years, maybe 8 years. I don't know. I think Andrew Lincoln's contract was 8 years. So were the Fear contracts about 8 years, something like that? If they're going to do it, that's what they have to do. But I am very interested and confused to see how people will respond and whether or not they'll want to watch Fear if the original series is not on anymore. So if AMC has episodes of Fear the Walking Dead on each year during the summer and that, or unless they move it to the fall time if the original Walking Dead is over, and they have Walking Dead Universe on, if they have those two on, but they don't have the original on anymore, that is going to be really crazy. Maybe eventually that will just happen because so many years, so many seasons, losing Daryl and Carol and wanting to give it a good ending, that you end the original series. But man, how could Fear and Walking Dead Universe continue on after that, after the original series is over? I can't imagine. I just don't even know who would want to watch it. I mean, these are definitely some tough questions. So let's hope Gimple can figure this whole thing out and see what they're going to do if this is true and the original Walking Dead series is ending in a couple years now. So there it is for you guys. Those are all my thoughts right now. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, guys, but it's plausible. That's the word to use here. It's plausible that this is true. You see what I'm saying? Like, you think it through, you look at all the pieces of the puzzle, and you say, damn it, I wish that report was bullshit and that there was nothing to it at all. But it sounds right. You know what I mean? It sounds like what we're probably going to see. So, a couple more years, guys. That's what it is. We should be happy. We got 12 big years of Walking Dead. And who knows the other series after that. I guess, yeah, they could continue on past further and further and further. But is anyone going to want to watch them after the original series has ended? Is anyone going to tune in to watch Universe or tune in to watch Fear? What is that going to look like? And will they launch another Walking Dead series after the original one ends? That's what I would probably, think is most likely is to do. End the first series, start a season 1 of a Walking Dead future, something like that. Base it around an adult Judith. Go forward with that for your series instead. Because I just don't know how people will respond to watching the other spin-offs when the original is done. But I don't know. Maybe it'll help them because the original's not on anymore and people can't watch that, so they're going to watch Fear every year or whatever, or they're going to watch Universe every year, even though they're already complaining about the teenagers being the the forefront characters. So I don't effing know, man. We've had a good run, guys. I hope you're doing okay. I hope everything is good with you. And leave those comments. Let me know what you think. Are you happy with that? Would you be interested in watching Universe or Fear after the original series has closed? Or would that be it for you? Would you say, okay, the original series is over? That's it. You know what I mean? I'm not watching any more Walking Dead no matter what they do. I just want to watch the original series and that's it. Damn, guys. Let me know if you like the video. Thumb it up. Share, favorite it. Sorry to break the news to you if it's right. I hope it's not. And I'll see you again soon. As always, it's Trev. Same peace. Later, guys. See you soon.